Good morning. First slide. Here we go.
La donna è mobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accento e di pensiero. Sempre una abile, leggiadro viso, il fiato il riso e menzognero. La donna è mobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accento e di pensiero, e di pensiero, e di pensiero.
This was not exactly my voice, but I thought that in tune with the topic of today's conference, I'm allowed to reframe the name of the famous aria from Rigoletto. What you see now, no need to read it, is your first challenge for today's session. And the challenge is to think about your multi-hyphenated professional career. They say it's a good practice that once a year, or maybe 2 times a year, you sit down and you enumerate the roles, the stepping stones, the things that you have done in your development. Number 1, you're going to be very surprised how many things you have done, because you're not just a presenter or a host, not a podcast developer, not a graphic designer only. You have many different roles in your life and in your practices. And then, once you write all these, definitely write at the end, and more. First you say, oh, I have so many experiences, and then you say, I have so many new things to learn, new things to try, and challenges to see whether I can overcome them. So this is your first Agile task for today. There will be a couple of more. And this is something that was told I was with an international big award given to me back in the year 2000. The World Economic Forum in Davos honored me as one of the 100 global leaders for tomorrow. Now, almost a quarter of a century later, I would probably think you will call me a global leader of yesterday. And my task in this situation is to try to give you a gift or the tools to handle this agile, ever-changing, fast-moving world that is about the experience, as Jürgen said. But before we do this, we will have to warm up, like for any fitness session, right? So I would kindly ask you to stand up, please. Let's warm up a little. Spread your hands like that, and we're going to do a very simple exercise. We touch our fingers like that. Thumb to the index finger, middle, ring finger, and the pinky. Okay? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your eyes and do it backwards. And do it backwards. Okay, good. Now, we're doing the same exercise with a little twist. The right hand will continue doing the same thing. But the left hand starts from the pinky. Okay? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you see? We have changed the parameter, and with practice, working on it, we will develop our agility. One more exercise. This time I'm not going to ask you to think on your feet or to speak on your feet. This is an exercise, we just had the session on healthcare, given as a preventive measure to patients that are suspected to start developing Alzheimer. I'm going to ask you to calculate on your feet. And what we're going to do is we start from 100 and we subtract 7 backwards, okay? Until we reach a number from which we can no longer subtract 7 because we're going to have a negative number. When you do this calculation in your head, you may sit down, okay? No, we start calculating. Ready? 100 minus 7. Okay, you're all ready? So show me with your hand the number you've reached. All of you? Calculating, okay. The right answer is 2. You can do this exercise starting from 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. It's a great exercise for mind agility. And what you showed me is the sign of victory. The sign of victory we very often associate with success. And sometimes success comes to you as it did to me. Suddenly, all at once. I was just not expecting it to happen. And when something like that happens to you, you're not prepared. Back in 1994, I opened, together with a small team of people, the operations of a natural cosmetics company, selling direct. It was a Swedish company, not known on the market. The market was empty. There were no major international competitors, and the business just exploded. Direct selling means that you work with distributors, they buy from you, from the company, and then they go face to face and they sell to the final consumer. Now, when demand expands so much, it's very difficult to be operationally efficient. But no matter what you do, when the market is empty and you have such a huge demand, no matter what you do, you're always profitable. You know that things have to be improved. And as a result, in the very beginning, we had 2 major problems. The first problem was that we had long lines of distributors waiting in the corridor because we had only 2 computers, to place their orders. And the second problem was that we had stockouts. Now, the trick from the sleeve. A question to the guys in the audience. Do you know what this is? Girls, keep quiet. What is it? Exactly. These are the sponges that we women put between the toes when we do our pedicure so that we protect the nail polish. Well, this was the most sought article at the time, and we had stockouts of it. And I told you about the lines. As a company, we were very worried that our people, our distributors, get upset because they cannot kind of serve their customers well. They were upset that they cannot make their sales quotas, they're not going to make their bonuses, and on top of that, they had to wait in these long lines. So we were thinking, brainstorming how to sweeten the deal for them, and we decided that while they are in the line, we'll go out with some chocolate or some fruit and offer it to them, because this was the time pre-smartphones, pre-social media, they had nothing to browse on. One of these days, because I'm a very, very quick typist, I was typing the orders on one of the two computers, and our chief accountant went out with the sweets to serve to the ladies waiting in the line. He was a tall guy, fair-haired, blue eyes, really handsome, early 30s. So he would go with a tray, and suddenly one of the distributors cornered him and asked him in front of the whole line, Mr. Pavlov, do you have the thing between the legs? The guy flushed. The line started laughing. And we said, okay, this is the way to overcome situations like that. Company folklore and humor come to the rescue and help you kind of keep the spirit of your people. And I wrote this one for you as well, because I know you want to be successful, but when you are at the top, when you have conquered the challenges, you usually tap yourself on the shoulder and you say, I have done everything right. And I tell you, don't overestimate luck and the circumstances in situations like that, because luck is always also a part of the game. When you think you have climbed Everest, you are so famous, your sales double every month, your distributor base grows and grows and grows, something bad and unexpected, totally out of your control, may happen. And then you have to be prepared to not be prepared. This was the autumn and winter of 96-97. Hyperinflation and the worst economic crisis in Bulgaria's history in modern times. People were horrified. They saw their savings melting away. In the beginning, you would need 100 leva for $1. Just in several weeks, $1 cost 3,000 leva. I remember my father calling me and telling me, Irena, my pension now is $5 per month. I'm not sure that I can survive on $5 a month. in a situation like that, your stellar growth suddenly goes down. If people get $10 a month as a salary, shampoo and lipstick are probably one of the items that are not on their priority list. And what we saw happening was a life-threatening crisis for the business and for the team. And when a thing like this happens, panic is a luxury. You don't panic, you don't scream. You start to take measures, steps, all kinds of things. You start bleeding your cash. You try to protect your distributors because they will work for a whole month, will make their bonus, even with the small sales, and when the time comes and you pay them 10,000 leva, these 10,000 leva are no longer the $100, but just $3. And the worst thing was that the people in the company had nothing to do. If you are selling like that big, and then you start selling half or even a third of that, the worst thing is that your team and your people in crisis like that sit idle. What we did was to gather everyone and to ask them to bring their talents to the table. Teach me what can. Can you do things from plasticine? Can you dance? Can you sing? Okay, what else can we do? We can do the kindergarten. We can clean the office. We can redecorate. We can recommend readings one to each other. And yes, I fought very hard for my team, although the pressures were really bad. And we didn't fire, anyone in this period. And when the storm passed by, we were actually not even sure that the crisis was over. We came out of it, and then we panicked. And we started writing all the good things that we have done and sharing them with the other offices of the company abroad. And it turned out that we have managed quite well, because a year later, 1998, a similar thing happens in Russia. And the business in Russia was 20 times bigger than Bulgaria, so they followed our steps. And they also kind of protected the things there. I'm coming back to this whole story of stellar growth and huge turmoil. Hyperinflation may or may not happen in your life, but the memories, the team spirit, the feeling of support. We had some Olympic champions coming to give lectures to our people so that they know we care for them. We actually made also courses in financial literacy because people were asking, okay, what can I do to preserve the purchasing power of my savings? And then, after this thing happened, I decided to go and study business. Because until that moment, running 7 years this cosmetics company, practically I had no business education. This was the time of the .com, and I was in Silicon Valley. I wanted very much to learn, what does it mean to have your own website? How do you do your e-trade, product proposals, all kind of promotions? And I was told there is only one venture capitalist in Silicon Valley at that time who is interested and is investing in Eastern Europe. For the rest, we did not exist. They helped me have a meeting with him, and his name, by the way, everyone called him Pitch. He loved Bulgaria, and he made me very often tell the story what pitch means in Bulgarian. He loved it. So I went to him and I said, you know, I want to do this business portal for women because what I know is how women feel, what they need, what they want. And he said, Irena, let's go and write a business plan. If you write your business plan, the first thing you have to say is what this business is going to be about. This was the time of the portals. Yahoo was the almighty company, eBay was in its baby steps, and no one in Bulgaria have heard of PayPal at the time. So I figured out that my portal will be called diva.bg. And my positioning statement was like that. Diva.bg is going to be the dominant women portal to serve the Bulgarian market in areas like fashion, beauty, health, family, design. Okay, you add it. Then I did the operational part, the launching part, the financial projections, marketing, product description, etc., etc. And I sent my business plan to Mr. Johnson for review. A week later, we have a meeting in his office. We were having coffee. He's smiling brilliantly at me. And he says, Irena, I read your business plan. Tell me, what is this dominant women all about? When I read it, I kind of imagine you dressed in black latex with boots above the knee and with a whip in the hand. What? I didn't mean this thing. I meant that this DivaBG is going to be the leading portal, the prevailing one, the big one. How should I have said it? And he said, you should have written diva.bg is going to be the dominant portal for women. And this lesson stays with me all this time because, you know, the speaker before me was talking about the ivory tower. When you are at the top of the ivory tower, you feel confident in your language skills, but things like that happen, and then they happen for a reason. I didn't have the guts to make DivaBG a reality, but I'm telling you the story because you are going to write so much software, so many projects, stories, other creative results of your dreams, and 90 or 95% of them are not going to be successful. That's okay. You are building your stepping stones towards the one or the several ones which are going to be successful. And nowadays, if we want to be successful, ideas or genius, one person, leader story is not enough. We need our teams. And how we create teams? Teams, self-organized, motivated. Luck comes into the equation again, for me at least. I had the exclusive chance in 2004 as the country manager for BMW to organize the Zeppelin tour over Bulgaria for the launch of BMW Series 1. Are there BMW fans here? You know what Series 1 is. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about the Zeppelin. The Zeppelin is a big air-flying machine. It is as long as the largest Boeing, sometimes even longer. Then it has a cabin below the balloon, and the cabin has 2 pilots and only 7 seats for the passengers. The Zeppelin is not a totally autonomous flying machine. To go for very long distances, you need a rope, a steel rope, on the nose to be attached to a truck. The truck drives, and the Zeppelin follows. And the balloon, because it is so big, is very sensitive to bad weather. So if there is rain or if there is strong wind, it's not very comfortable to fly with the Zeppelin. So the Zeppelin had the big BMW Series 1 on the balloon, and it was about to come to Bulgaria all the way from Germany, passing through the other countries. It was the most difficult, the most expensive, and the most responsible product launch that I have ever been a part of. And I was telling this to my team. We were 5 people, 6 with the cleaning lady. And I say, we're going to launch BMW Series 1, and we're going to fly a Zeppelin over Bulgaria. Piece of cake. It will come through the border with Serbia. We have to tell this to air control, because the Zeppelin has to fly for 3 days over Sofia, then it should go to Plovdiv, fly over Plovdiv. Then it should go to Burgas, fly over Burgas, go out of the border to Istanbul, second border, come back, go up to Varna, and from Varna, crossing the third border of Bulgaria to go to Bucharest. Then our task is to invite on this Zeppelin tour in a timed manner all the A-listers of the A-listers. Levan Hampartsumian is one of the speakers today. He is the only one that knows what it was when we were up there. We invited the president. He came. We invited the prime minister. He couldn't come, but some other ministers came. All the top business people, to kind of give them something that is an exclusive experience. We didn't know how to do it, but we somehow discovered the yes and process. So, one person from the team will say, we have to talk and coordinate with air control. Yes, and? We have to ask them to give us the VIP of Sofia airport. Yes, and? You know, the last time a Zeppelin was flying over Bulgaria was back in 1929. You remember there was a song. Let's find the song. Yes, and? And we are going to have cheerleaders. Yes, and we're going to have a lot of fun and test drives, etc., etc. So we grew this promotion and product presentation to an experience and to an adventure for us. Because we knew that when you have ideas, they are like sand in your hand. They flip through your fingers and they fall down. And if you don't add water and the warmth of shaping them, nothing will come out of it. So let me kind of bring back everything back to basics and tell you, in the business world, Agile means common sense. I love to repeat this one to my team even now. Better on time than perfect. Your customers know that the app you have promised to them will have bugs, but you're going to work together on the bugs later on. You're going to follow on the timing that you have promised. It's very important, and women know how to do this. That's why we feel that we are agile, to create low expectations, because this is the way to surprise your customers. And not only that, you listen to them, to their requests, to their ideas, and you try to do what they ask from you. Very important to show them that you never do things half-assed. You put your heart, you put your passion, you are there for them. Jürgen was telling us about all kinds of problems with the banks and the hotels he didn't like. You are there for your customers, and their pain is your pain. So, when you find the right dominant women who have the thing between the legs, your teams are going to perform like a courier on a bike in a congested traffic. Thank you.